And we're good. All right. Oh. Get the green on. That means go. Green means go. Green means happy St. Patrick's Day. Huh? We're all Irish today, right? Doesn't feel like St. Patty's Day. I don't know. I don't know if St. Patrick's Day is a bigger deal as where you guys are from, where you guys, each one of you are from. But in Boston, whew, whew, it's like, everybody's coming out after a long winter. It's just, although it's crazy. Today it snowed for the first time since maybe like December when it snowed one time. Like I said, we didn't even have a winter this year, and it actually snowed all morning. So weird. And there's really no St. Patrick's Day being celebrated. It doesn't feel like St. Patrick's Day. Everything's shut down. It's crazy. Even City Hall is shut down, and I'm supposed to get my veteran check And I called him. I'm like, how am I supposed to get it? And supposedly, I guess City Hall was shut down, but all the mayor and all the department heads were there today having a meeting. And I am so lucky I called when I did. He's like, you're so lucky you called. I was only in my office for 10 minutes. He's like, listen, meet me at the front door at 10 o'clock. Met him. Boom. So I got really lucky. I mean, he would have mailed it probably, but still, Um, by then, by the time I got it in the mail, I'd be, delinquent on all kinds of stuff. And anyways, you guys don't need to hear that. So how you guys doing? Happy St. Patrick's Day. Um, you know, I'm actually Irish, so or half Irish. Well, I'm the Irish side though. We have Scottish in our blood too. It's like my grandfather, no, or his father, great grandfather was half Scottish. So, but then the rest was married to all Irish. So it's mostly Irish, but I also have Scottish, and then 50% Portuguese on the other side. It's a nice little, Somerville, Cambridge mix. If you're from Mass, you understand that. But so I have something like crazy to show you guys. But first, I want to talk to you about the goings on. Right now, we have the president speaking to the country. It's actually not the president already spoke. Right now, it's Mike Pence. Mnuchin got up there and tried to start speaking, and he started throwing some big numbers out. They're talking about the Fed willing to print up to $1 trillion if needed. Now, do you think that they're going to do that? And just here, there you go. Because if you don't know, the United States Federal Reserve isn't owned or controlled by the United States. It's controlled by basically the people that we talk about all the time. These people that are part of the cabal, the Rothschilds, the actual Federal Reserve. Who's it owned by though? I think it's like a joint, like a bunch of them together that own it. But we don't own our own Federal Reserve. We got to ask them. That's why Trump gets, all upset about them not cutting rates. And another thing, I've been telling you guys this. If I had money, I could have been a millionaire by now because, it's so obvious what's happening. People are getting rich right now. The market drops, right? Bad news, everything's bad, right? Then all of a sudden, Trump came out and announced that they were working on all this stuff and bills are being passed in the House. All of a sudden, the market goes back up. I've already explained that. I've talked about this like every show, last 3 shows. Then, then there's another drop, except this one's really bad, the worst one since '87, right? Then the next day, the Feds cut the rates. It goes back up. Now think about it. If you're in the know, you're plugged in, and you know what's going to be announced, all that, you can make a fortune when it's about to, when you know it's gonna when it goes up, you sell right before it drops, and when it drops and it's way down, you buy. Then it went back up, and then yesterday we had the biggest drop, and this surprised me, of all time. Literally, biggest drop in the market of all time. I thought we would never pass the Great Depression, but then I thought about it, and you know what? The Great Depression, the market wasn't as high, so the number of points that it dropped wouldn't be as you know what I mean? Like if them dropping 3,000 points, it's like, you know what I mean? Like they didn't have, the market wasn't as big, so us dropping that number was actually higher than what the Great Depression drop was. Then today, despite Mnuchin up there, they were hammering him, and the president actually saved him. The president literally like saved him, like literally like stepped in and like said, "Listen, there's a lot of numbers. There's a lot to think. It's a lot to remember." Because it is. The guy was up there. He's not a good talker. He's awkward, and they were asking him a million questions. Oh, well, if they're doing this with this, so it was somebody who really knows economics. And this guy, Mnuchin is great. I mean, he knows his shit, obviously, but he's not a great speaker, and he doesn't keep up sometimes. So he didn't. He was having some trouble. But they're announcing all this stuff that they have this task force has worked on, economically, like for basically it's like a safety net, like no matter how bad it gets, like we have a backup plan, all this stuff. And by the way, so this morning I watched a video I made back like mid-April, mid to late April. I mean January, about a month and a half ago. This is when the outbreak had just like started, but then there was one case in Washington. It was like that day. And I did nothing but study, listen to scientists. And by the way, like people say coronavirus is a vague word. It means, like SARS. That's coronavirus. I mean, it's one of those things that make people think like, oh, this ain't real because coronavirus, it can mean many things, which is why I don't like that name. I try not to say it. I do sometimes, just because I don't know. That's basically what people call it. People it's saying COVID-19 isn't it? Doesn't come off the tongue right. I like to call it, Charlie Victor 19er, but I got to think of something better. I don't know, like Munda calls it Karachi. I like that because it's just boom. You don't have to say virus. Karachi. I like that. I might try that. But also, um, the governor of New York. I couldn't believe how long he was on national TV speaking. And you know what? I never liked that dude. Never did. And people are pissed at him because he's shut down. I mean, he's shut down everything in that state. You can't do nothing. And we're talking about Manhattan, the city that never sleeps. You can't do anything. And most of the reason why he's doing it, and most of the reason why their numbers are so bad, is really just one city, New Rochelle. I mean, that's not far from the city, but I know New Rochelle very well. And they, for some reason, they got slammed. It spread there like wildfire. They probably have the worst situation in the country, New Rochelle. So it's almost like because of that he did it. But you know what? He owned it. He like got on there and owned it. He said, "Don't call your mayor. Don't call some city official. Don't get mad at them. Don't blame them that you can't do this and that and say you're not gonna let." He goes, "This is me. They have no say." He said, "I'm the governor, and this is what's going on, and this is what I think is best." I don't really like the guy, but I respect that. I respect him owning it. Um, Now, this show, normally I go over the virus, what's going on, um, how different countries are handling it, which, by the way, South Korea at the beginning handled it the worst, maybe outside of Italy. And the main reason, I'm telling you, literally at the beginning, most of their spread was from this cult that had a guy who thought he was Jesus, who thinks that he's Jesus, I should say. He thinks he's the second coming of Jesus, and what he did was they went to Wuhan to try to like help people, and it's a huge group. It's like it's like almost like their own religion in South Korea, and they came back and they infected everybody. and they were really like the main reason for infection. So that was bad for South Korea. South Korea got hit hard, but they have handled this the best because they did massive testing, took tests from everyone with swabs, and once they did that, they were able to contain it and know exactly what they were dealing with. And the U.S. we're actually kind of adopting that model. As the president was saying, we're gonna take the best, what's worked in each country, what China did that was well, what South Korea did that was well, all that. Okay, if you guys want more on the virus, watch my other videos. But one thing, my video from back like a month and a half ago. Back then, this is like most of the public didn't even know about it, but I was so accurate. I mean, you look at what's going on today. I said it all. I predicted everything in that video. For some reason, I thought that I predicted it came from an animal, but I actually, no, I said it came from the lab to the animal. So I don't know if that might be the way, but so I thought I had that part wrong, but then I watched it today. It's a great video. I put it up as my feature video. Now, do you guys want to see something that's gonna blow your mind? It's freaking crazy. I don't know how many of you guys. Yeah, what's up with that? No casualties in Russia. Well, we know countries like Iran, which, by the way, there's satellite imagery. If you want to look at it, I don't think. Maybe we, you know what? Maybe I will pull it up. There's satellite imagery of mass graves in Iran. Iran is horrible right now. Um, China lied about numbers big time. That's why when people see the numbers, they're like, it's not that. Listen, those aren't the real numbers. And those are just the numbers that have been detected. There's 10 times that, right now don't know they have it, or they have a mild case and they're just going about their life. It's 10 times that number. Ask any scientist, that's what they'll say. That's just how it goes. And thank you, Brandy. If anyone wants to donate, it's greatly appreciated. And unless you say otherwise, it goes straight to the channel. And I'll send you like a receipt and all that. What I'm trying to get next is like a green screen. So yeah. Anyway, so also, I don't know how many of you guys saw the president put out a tweet, and basically it was like a guideline on what to do. It was like a little graphic. It was almost like a video. Now, you guys know that I don't do conspiracy theory as much as I report conspiracy that I can prove with fact, right? The only thing I veer off on, and it's basically like fact to me, is Q. Sorry about that. It's Q. That's the one thing. That's my one thing that I kind of, I believe in, where there's a lot of proofs, but it's still, you don't know. Yeah, and that's weird with Russia, because I heard that in Moscow alone there was a big problem. Um, yeah, hospitals aren't prepared. Oh, guys, yeah, uh, Sailor knows the deal. All the bars are closed. But for instance, my father, he was a, he was a he was a good guy, and he was around the way. So he used to have an after hours club. No cops allowed, even though they would be friends with the cops, because a lot of dirty cops back then. and a little after hours bar in the basement, set it up real nice. Um, Trust me, in Southie, if you really want to go and pot, there's gonna be there's spots, and the cops will probably just they don't care. So there'll be spots to go. If you're in Boston, don't worry about it. If you're in Southie and you're from there, and not just Southie, to be honest with you, Sailor, Southie ain't what it used to be. Charlestown, same thing. It's not what it used to be. It's all yuppies. We're talking a lot of the even Somerville. That's I grew up around there. Somerville's not what it used to be. A lot of yuppies. Things have kind of changed. Everyone moved to New Hampshire or I don't even know where. I don't know north. Basically north. All right, guys. So I'm going to show you something that's going to blow your mind. First of all, so Trump. Let me get this up for you before I share it. How's everyone doing anyway? And by the way, it's great to see Jerry Love here. Great to see you here, Jerry Love. What did you say here? Let's get that up. I want to know why hospitals are not prepared with masks. Strange to donate their. Yeah, you know what? And that's great. And that's why I've been telling people to get masks for, I don't know, almost 2 months. I don't know. I was like, do I really need the mask? And people think, oh yeah, I'll just get one mask. No, that you can only wear it one day. Although there are some theories that you can put it in the freezer and that makes it so it's disinfected. You can wear it again, but I don't know how many times. Maybe you can buy an extra day or two doing it that way. Um, in the freezer though, wouldn't it be frozen? I don't know. There's some way that you can make it last a little bit longer. But yeah, it's over N95. The one with the ventilator, and that's the big deal now. And a lot of people did buy them. I mean, because there was a lot of channels telling people to buy it, and they bought them by the hundreds early. And that yeah, and you know what? Rosa got a point here because Oh, I'm sorry, put the wrong thing. Rosa, how you doing, Brandy? And thank you for putting that up for me. And Rosa got a point here. The masks. Do you know how many doctors, nurses, whether it's China, Italy, or here in the U.S., have gotten sick? It's because the mask ain't enough. The mask is not enough. It can get in your ears, supposedly your eyes. That's how the guy got it in China, because the only thing exposed was his eyes, and it got in there. So, and it lives for a long time on flat surfaces. So, if you're, let's say, if let's say you want to disinfect your house, you're going under thing. You want to do the flat surfaces. That's any flat surface. You want that's where you want to wipe. By the way, um, what's this? I don't know if this is true. Let me read it again. They say, "How you doing?" By the way, Rosa, welcome. I've never seen you before. Welcome to the channel. They said if it well, I know my mods are great. They welcome everybody. They said if you breathe air, you can get it. I don't know. But even like another thing, they just announced last week that it's airborne as well. Like I said in this video I did called "Everything You Need to Know About the Coronavirus" a month and a half ago, I said that as well because I listened to these scientists who they're not tied to anything where they have to. Do you know what? Right now, they about 2 weeks ago they did it. They basically did like the UK does this stuff a lot, but we did it this time. It was like news for one day on YouTube, and then it went away. But basically like a gag order. on certain things. Same thing with HHS, um, Health and Human Services, I believe. That's where the National Guard went to in New Rochelle. And all of a sudden, they had a big problem because they decided that they were going to classify the information. Now, not I talked to a source and I said they're classifying the information. So what's that mean exactly? They said what it means is that they're classifying all the information coming in. It's kind of like when I was in the Navy. Any as a cryptologist, any information that came in, I would try to decode, or at the very least, pass it on. Try to decode it. Analyze, prioritize, all that, and then your chief has to agree and all kinds of stuff. But that's what it's all about. The information that comes in, meaning they find out, some crazy mutation, because that is one of the things that they're finding out is mutation within this virus. A lot of us know, if you don't know, the HIV strand is in the virus. That's why it's like this ain't natural. This was man-made. This was man-made, and it's mutating already. It's like the perfect, in a bad way, the perfect virus. The way that it spreads, the way that you don't have symptoms for up to 2 weeks, maybe even longer. That's why, like, they quarantine people for 14 days. Now it's 15 days. I've been saying all along, 3 weeks, 3 weeks, because you know what's happened a couple times now. Someone's in there 14 days. They get out, and then they end up being positive again and infecting other people. 3 weeks to be safe. I mean, if you make it to 3 weeks before you have any symptoms, you're probably like, an athlete in his 20s. Or, some people just genetically have amazing, like my child's mother, Amanda. Her father was no bullshit, on my daughter. Although I hate to do that, but it just sounds so crazy. He was Mr. Universe in 90, and I think it was 90, got hurt in 91, and then in 92 or something like that. Like 90 and 92. Victor Terra, if you ever look it up, if you care to. But he was Mr. Universe, friggin', and he actually never knew that she existed, supposedly, until about 9 months ago when I called him and I talked to him, and he denied it, and I think he knew. Uh, I'm not going to talk about. I'm talking about her business. I can't do that. The only thing I'm trying to say is that her father, who she doesn't know from a hole in the wall, but he was Mr. Universe, and his whole thing is, oh, on steroids, you can't get someone pregnant because of the steroids he was on back then. Look at the guys back then doing the bodybuilding. They were on so many steroids, and it was a rumor you can't get someone pregnant. Well, he did. So she has, and he's Portuguese, as am I, half Portuguese and half Irish. And then, anyways, I'm just, you guys don't care about this stuff. It's just interesting because I've always noticed with her, she doesn't work out, she doesn't do anything, but like, you know, she just wakes up and it's like she's just like naturally built well, like crazy, what's it called, metabolism as well. Like, she did a test for some marijuana and it didn't show up because her metabolism is just like crazy. So it depends on who you are. Someone like her, she could probably go definitely 3 weeks without symptoms, and then when she did get symptoms, they'd probably be like nothing. Um, but listen, I've been talking about all this, so we have enough people here. I was hoping for more people but it's midday, and I don't normally do midday shows. I want to make sure this doesn't die on me. It says I have 28 minutes left. I don't trust it. Okay, guys. So the president put out a tweet. Now, let me just real quick to fill the room. Um, what do you guys feel about Q? Yay, nay, or maybe? Yay, nay, or bay for maybe? Just filling out the room real quick. Yay, nay, maybe? Q. Now, it doesn't have to be that you think that they're saving the world, just that you think it's legit and it's not some fake thing, that it's actually legitimately, because it can be legit, yet still be using AI. And, the the president's definitely in on it. If you watch my videos, when he's quoted Q so many times. That was like the big thing he said at the speech. If you guys saw that, so I'm not sure. Yay! We got a couple yays, couple 50-50s. So that's like a 50-50. Think it's legit? Yeah, me too. I think it's legit. My only question is, if it's not everything that it seems to be, is it some type of AI where they're gonna take over, take out all these people? They really were up to no good, but then you just have absolute power. So let's check this out, guys. And by the way, I if you didn't notice, I changed my symbol just for today to the Irish. It almost felt like weird putting it. All right, so I'm going bye bye. All right, check this out. Now, so the president puts out a tweet, right? Let's go to the president first. All right, so it was right there. I should have clicked it. Shit. You know what? It was right there. Where's Trump? Come on. All right. Check this out. So he puts this out. It's almost like an announcement to everybody, right? 47 following. I wonder who the 47 he's following, because he seems to know everything as soon as someone. Well, you know what? Everybody on Twitter probably puts at to him, so he finds out what everyone's saying. He wasn't so cool with Cuomo too long ago, but they were trading compliments today, so they're all cool today. They're on the same page. I mean, they gotta be. This is bigger than politics. If it's real, because you know what? There's a couple subscribers that come on here, and I am the type that I never marry an idea. See stuff like that. I never marry ideas. I just think it's dangerous to marry an idea. So this is what we got. Stop the spread. Practice good hygiene. Plus, wash hands frequently. Avoid touching nose and eyes. Cover coughs. Disinfect surfaces regularly. Limit handshaking. All right, so that's it. What do you guys think? What do you guys think about that? Nothing, right? What's the big deal? Well, the way Q works, it's never um, obvious. It's obvious once you figure it out. So check this out, guys. Check this out. Tell me if this doesn't blow your mind. Oh, see, I changed my symbol for this too. Red clover. I had to keep it red. All right. All right, guys, you ready for this? So here's a freeze frame showing the Q in the stop the spread video. You see that? Look at this. You see, look at that turns to Q. Let me show you. Look at it. While those letters, it's like it makes no sense why the letters. Look at this. Watch this right one. That'll turn to Q first. Ah, shit, missed it. It's so quick. And then Q. You see? All of a sudden you have Q. And by the way, Q always uses these brackets, right? You know, if like if it's a target, you put the brackets on it. Like for instance, if he's talking about like GS George Soros, he'll put anything that's a target, he puts what they call the kill box, this bracket. Now that video kind of shows you a little bit, and then it ends up having a Q. I mean, why would they do that? And then look at this, see? And then this is what I was talking about. It happens so fast. You have to like really slow it down. And I got a video that I can show you guys where it slows down. And so that one was at the end, it shows Q. So look at all the letters go. And then when they all gone, it flashes a Q real quick and it goes away. You don't see it when you watch it. You have to like slow it down and freeze it. But also, as they're going away, this O turns into a Q as well. Why would they do that? Why? I mean, that's not by accident. You don't, there's no reason for a Q to be there. I mean, do you guys, do you guys see? Like, why would there be. Yeah. It's not, we're not talking about what's actually written here. It's not about what they're saying or anything like that. It's about when you watch it, they go away, and then it shows a Q. When all the letters go away, a Q flashes. When you're watching it, you can't tell it. You have to slow it down to like the slowest you can, and you'll see a Q pop up for a millimeter of a second, and then go away. And not just then, but it also happens while they're going away. We even watch live. I told you I watched that. Oh, you couldn't see it, but if you really slow it down, also this second O turns into that Q right here. Do you guys see? Can you guys see that? It turns into a Q when they're all going away, and then when all the letters are gone, a Q flashes again. Now, I am going to show you guys. First of all, I highly recommend this channel. Um, it's probably like the most entertaining channel for me when it comes to Q. And a lot of you guys probably know it. In Pursuit of Truth, he was showing it, and it's unbelievable. Here, I'm not gonna show his content, but I am gonna show this because it's unbelievable. All right, ready? Okay. Ready?
Virus vials. You got any of that white stuff? By the way, for those of you who care, purple corn is actually a real thing. It's believed to be good for preventing colon cancer, blood circulation, and also helps you develop collagen. So for anybody who's curious, I believe they put it in a drink down south. It's real popular, almost like in this little fruit punch kind of drink for anybody who's curious. Anyway, let me leave you with this. This was actually tweeted by our POTUS, and I found this very interesting, and so did many of you. Probably some of you guys already saw this. Big thanks to whoever on Twitter slowed this video down for us to help us pick some of this apart. But this is in regards to stopping the spread of coronavirus. And you'll notice that the word stop is in brackets. We'll talk about that in just a second. But let's just play the video. I don't have any sound here for you. Practice good hygiene. Of course, that's good. Wash hands frequently. Yeah. Avoid touching your face, nose, and eyes. Yeah, AOC, avoid that. Cover your coughs and sneezes. Disinfect surface regularly. Now what happens to the O's here? The O's, it'll be slowed down. Oh, there's a Q right there. My goodness, let's take a look at that again. There it is. Boy, it's like that didn't belong there, but it was there anyway. And then we see it again right there. My goodness, I wonder if that's an accident. Then we get a plus, meeting and travel precautions. And yeah, I just find this very, very curious. And then there's one more thing that I want to point out here. Stay at home if you're sick. Consider postponing travel plans. Avoid large gatherings. Basically common sense kind of stuff. And then you'll see this here. We're all in this together. And I want you to notice that the F's, it's kind of hard to point it out right there, but the F's right here were kind of upside down, where you see together they're being flipped. They were both originally the other way, which made them to look like F's, meaning F. Does that mean foxtrot?
And I saw this too, and I know you guys might be thinking, where's the F's? Well, when this comes up, it also does like a little, it like does a flip, and it's kind of upside down, and it turns up. You know how they do that. It's the T's. You notice how the T's are like kind of weird? Well, the T's flip, and when they flip, they're just like F's. And there's a point where they're the only letters that are flipped. So you have FF, and the rest of the letters are, and they're like kind of risen above the rest. So that is crazy. So at the end, they go out of their way to say FF after. I mean, how that's not a wow. Thank you, baby. Thank you. I mean, how, and plus with the Q's, it ends with a Q. There's 2 times Q's pop up while the letters are going away and mixing around. There's no other. Why would they do that? Unless it's on purpose. And don't forget, this isn't just some like, this is straight from the president. Straight from the president. All right.
Trot, is that referring to a particular kind of event that's not a true flag, but the opposite of true flag operation? Am I making my point? Anyway, we're all in this together, and POTUS tweeted this, and I thought this very, very curious. So thanks to whoever slowed that down. And finally, I will leave you with this. This is a thread from Brandy Turpin on Twitter at Brandy Wine.
This is interesting as well. This is interesting.
This is interesting. Brandy says, boom, I just noticed the kill box around the word stop on Trump's hand wash post. So I Googled up stop and looked for relevant meanings. Look at this. A legit false company specializing in medical events. Meet the team's strategic operations. And this is them right here. I will actually put this into a thread reader and put it down for you down below so that you can check it out and look at some of the connections that Brandy made. I don't want to go through them all here.
Now, if you didn't catch it, at the end it mentioned it sees the T's flipped FF, and now this woman, she was smart enough, or she actually maybe already knew that there's an organization. We've all heard of these organizations that look for crisis actors. Now, I'm not saying that every single shooting is. I'm just saying that it's true. There is these companies that specialize in creating events. They do it for the military. They for training exercises. They make it as real as possible, and they also do it for like disaster situations. And you pretend to be a victim or whatever it is. And the name is STOP, but it's an acronym for strategic operations. and that was in a kill box. So that might be what he's referring to.
But I did find it pretty interesting. Of course, this is another Stu Siegel operation. If you've worked as an actor in Southern California, you're familiar with Stu Siegel, and Brandy goes a little bit into that. But I will take you down to the bottom post here. Two quick I forgots. The IMDb movies in circle picked are Stephen J. Cannell's. He died in 2010, evidently. Seriously, about half the keywords displayed through movie names, and they're talking about all the different kinds of references that you find here. Okay, so I will leave this down for you below, but this is what I wanted to show you. Here is their site. Services Strategic Operations provides total turnkey training support services and solutions, including facilities, role players, battlefield effects, and training support. Yeah, and believe it or not, I'm actually very familiar with this company. They're out of San Diego, and this is their facility right here. They basically have a little Hollywood town kind of set up, and they will use these for medical videos, for military training videos, all kinds of stuff. And if you've worked it, like I said, as an actor in Southern California, chances are you maybe have done a gig with Stop or Stu Siegel before. Stu Siegel's worked with a ton of people, so it doesn't necessarily mean he's directly involved. But I did find this to be a very interesting find. So thank you very much for that, Brandy, and I will leave you at that. As always, if you'd like.
So how crazy is that? I mean, I find this amazing. I almost want to show you the cute thing one more time for anyone who might have came late. One more time, just quick. We're not gonna play the whole thing. Just check this out. This is unbelievable.
Purple corn is actually a real thing. It's believed to be good for preventing colon cancer. South, it's real popular, almost like in this little fruit punch kind of drink for anybody who's curious. Anyway, let me leave you with this. This was actually tweeted by our POTUS, and I found this very interesting, and so did many of you. Probably some of you guys already saw this. Big thanks to whoever on Twitter slowed this video down for us to help us pick some of this apart. But this is in regards to stopping the spread of coronavirus. And you'll notice that the word stop is in brackets. We'll talk about that in just a second. But let's just play the video. I don't have any sound here for you. Practice good hygiene. And of course, that's good. Wash hands frequently. Yeah. Avoid touching your face, nose, and eyes. Yeah, AOC, avoid that. Cover your coughs and sneezes. Disinfect surface regularly. Now what happens to the O's here? The O's, it'll be slowed down. Oh, there's a Q right there. My goodness, let's take a look at that again. There it is. Boy, it's like that didn't belong there, but it was there anyway. And then we see it again right there. My goodness, I wonder if that's an accident. Then we get a plus, meeting and travel precautions. And yeah, I just find this very, very curious. And then there's one more thing that I want to point out here. Stay at home if you're sick. Consider postponing travel plans. Avoid large gatherings. Basically common sense kind of stuff. And then you'll see this here. We're all in this together. And I want you to notice that the F's, it's kind of hard to point it out right there, but the F's right here were kind of upside down, where you see together they're being flipped. They were both originally the other way, which made them to look like F's, meaning F. Does that mean foxtrot? Foxtrot? Is that referring to a particular kind of event that's not a true flag, but the opposite of true flag?
So yeah. So by the way, those F's, they were the T's. You can almost see how that one's still half flipped. They were flipped upside down. Look exactly, they're F's flipped upside down. And they made sure to go out of their way to put it like that. So I found this amazing because here's the thing. It was put out by the president. There is no way that that could be a mistake. There's no way. I mean, they have letters. They have these letters like, it just doesn't make sense. They have the letters saying whatever it said, stop the spread or whatever, right? But when you slow it down, all of a sudden a Q pops up. How is that? Why? Someone had to have done that. And don't forget, this isn't tweeted by some Joe Schmo. This is tweeted directly. It wasn't retweeted, and he didn't know. No, he had this video made, and tweeted it. So you see a Q pop up. It's like, what the? Then you see another one actually over on the side, like right before the meeting of the last one. There's a Q that pops up there as well. And then when it all ends, the last thing to flash, but it's only like a millisecond, Q. And the whole time on the shield, there's a plus. And then after that Q flashes, the first thing that happens, instead of having like bullet points, they have plus signs. So the first thing that happens after that Q is a plus. And then it goes on to say wash your hands frequently. So it's a Q plus. It's a confirmation. It's a Q proof. It's a not only a Q proof, it's a Q plus proof. There's been debate on who's Q plus. For those of you who don't know, here and there, it'll be like a bunch of Q tweets. I mean posts, and then all of a sudden you'll see a Q plus post, and it's usually like a announcement, or it's obvious that whoever the Q plus is kind of like running it. They're running the whole Q thing, and a lot of people, most people believe it's the president. I kind of held out. I didn't know. I was like, because they did say like, listen, the president has to be kind of distanced from their exact operations, just for purposes of not knowing some certain things, because he's the president. You don't want him too close to what they're up to. But here and there, he'll post as Q plus. They'll have him post as Q plus, and I believe that was a confirmation right there. The shield on the top has a plus sign. The shield on the top has a plus. Where's the shield? Oh, you can't see the shield here. Well, there's a shield somewhere that has a plus, and the first thing that pops up is also a plus. Oh, and by the way, just in case you think, whatever. Now, Q never does anything without warning you, hey, this is legit. Well, look at this Q post. This is a Q post from December 12th, 2018. It's a long time ago, right? O confirmed. And basically when you see that, it means if somebody says like, oh, I saw how the president's tweet, came after your tweet and he said the same thing, or the minute marker meets exactly, or something, but and he'll say confirmed, letting you know like, yep, you got it. This one confirmed, and then highlighted O made into Q. More to find over time. Happy hunting. So that's obvious. So this just shows the military precision. Back in December 12th, 2018, they planned to put that out. And they waited all this time. They waited through impeachments and Mueller and all that to put that out. And just in case, you don't believe that's a Q post, because I questioned it too. I was like, this is way too crazy. There's no way. Well, let's see. What did it say? O turns into. So turns into. No, that's not what it says. Hold on. What did it say? Oh, made into. See, this thing's accurate. I didn't put it right, so something else comes out. Made into. Oh, December 12th. This is QAnon.pub. You can come here and look at any Q post. If you want to search for like specific stuff, boom, you can. Confirmed. O made into Q. I mean, what do you guys think about all this? I mean, could somebody actually truly deny all that? And all these CEOs are stepping down. And I was starting to almost not lose faith, but like think, did things go bad, or what's going on here? because they're all stepping down. Even the guy who knows so much about the virus, he even ran a simulation only a month, they say 2 months, but the virus actually was released earlier than what they're saying. Like a month before it, he runs, event 207, right? Event. Did you get those three numbers? Event and those numbers. I mean, and then he resigns, of all people. I mean, we're talking the biggest companies in the world. There was a whole, if you guys remember, it was like a few months ago. They all, like, if you look at Fortune 500, it's like half of them resigned. And then just recently, what is it? Lockheed Martin, he resigned. That's a new one. But you don't hear about this stuff. You don't hear about it because it's 24/7 Karachi talk. You know what I'm saying? Charlie Victor 19er. But I don't know anyone see more that 80 arrested at that. I didn't know about that. Thank you, Rosa. Wow. So she's new to the channel and she's coming with info. Oh, it's time to wake up. I hope you would show up. Did you just see what I showed? Did you just see what I showed? The Q thing? When the video's over, or you can rewind right now. Rewind back and look at what I just showed. It's unbelievable. I thought of you because if so, think about what that means. Not only is it a confirmation that he's Q plus and it's all legit, can, you know what there is? There's a delay. So I thought you guys couldn't hear me. So there's a delay, but you know, my computer's been charging thanks to Sunshine State. Thank you very much. But I'm telling you, there's weird things going on with my computers. In the military, I was, you know, in collection, decoding. I wasn't a tech guy. Never been a tech guy. I mean, I know it enough, but I'm not. Like I know in the past, I had two computers, and Jerry Love, if she's still here, she remembers. They fried my BIOS chip twice, and then someone who knows about computers actually told me, you know, as long as you got to plug it into a you know, power supply and then an extension cord, and it makes it hard for them to fry your BIOS chip, because that's what they do. If they want, they'll take down your computer. They'll somebody, maybe it was just a hacker, but whoever it was, they'll fry your BIOS chip. So what do you guys think about that? I mean, can anyone explain to me how that was directly from the president, not retweeted? You have, for no reason, cues popping up in a secret way. I mean, it's like, it's secretive. The way it's done, it's definitely like a covert way of flashing a cue. And the only people who are gonna even go out of their way to even try to slow it down and even figure that out are people that are in the Q movement. Or, you know what, actually, the people that know that they're being hunted. They're the ones, they're looking as well. They're following Q the hardest. Trust me, if Q was after me, I'd be following everything too. And then at the end, the two T's flip upside down, FF. Now, you didn't really get to see that the way he did it, but they do. They flip upside down, and it's a FF. Very interesting. Unbelievable, really. And then, like I said, and then the last thing to flash is the Q. And you can't see it just watching it regular speed, but when you slow it down, like really slow, you see it all. And then right after that, a plus sign. Plus on the God, on the symbol on the top, there was a plus sign. But then the first thing to flash after that last Q was a plus, and then it said wash your hands, da, 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 da. And then it ends with two F's, two T's that is shaped in a way that if you flip them, they're F's. And they're flipped FF. That's why I wanted It's Time to Wake Up to see that. Because that made me think. Hold on a second. What's really going on? Because I've been following the science of this virus. And I still think the virus is real. I mean, I know way too much about it to not think it's real. But I know that there's some type of motive behind it. I mean, just think about this, how they're taking these steps. I mean, we're at the point where the next step, and like I said, on Sunday, there was a 1/3 of people with a certain service got a text saying at 6 o'clock there'll be a national emergency thing, and everything's going to be shut down. National Guard's moving in. And then especially in Massachusetts that happened. And I had people I know letting me know, hey, you know, I know someone in the National Guard at 6 o'clock. They're going to shut everything down. So I was going to make a video, but I was like, I don't know. It doesn't add up. Then it didn't happen. Turned out to be a hoax. Either that, or they found out that word got out. Somebody was able. I mean, someone had. In order for that to be a hoax, someone had to somehow be able to get into one of these big phone company, the services, and send a message to all the 1/3 of their users. I mean, that's unbelievable. That's like some crazy hacking. So who did that? Maybe they found out that happened and they decided, You know, even people that are not truthers at all that I know knew about that, and they talk to me because they know what I do. Um, it's just crazy. I mean, if you guys want to watch it in real speed again, we can do that. Um, so I mean, I just want to know what you guys think. Did that blow you guys away? Because I couldn't when I'm sharing screen, I can't see. Um, I can't see what you guys are saying. Yeah, and he adds the plus. Yep, Q plus. It can't be a mistake. It's not just like just something that by accident they hit Q 3 times. Sorry about that. All right, you know what? I'm gonna share screen. All right, hold on. All right. Now let's go. I'm gonna show you right now on Twitter. Well, I mean, here's just like here's where they just freeze the frame. You know, here's one of the cues. It just pops up. Here's another one of the cues that comes at the end. Um, Here's a freezer of the cue and the stop the spread video. There it is, cue. Boom. And then we're in this together. We can all do our part. But you know what I want? We already know